The EP Taylor is a signature race at Woodbine. It's a grade one. It's the seventh race on Saturday's card. It's running 1.25 miles on the turf for 3-year-olds and up, fillies and mares. And boy, is this a good field. We've got Moira, who was a former Canadian Horse of the Year, won the King's Plate, coming off a nice win in the Beverly D. Fev Rover, who ran a strong second and is a hard knocker, brings it every time. Another former Canadian Horse of the Year. Full Count Felicia, who should be on the engine and came off a nice front-running victory last time. Blue Rose Sen, shipping in from Europe, who was an absolute monster at 3 years old, has had it tough at 4, but has been running against grade 1 European competition, and so that she's had some pretty good opponents to run against. And then finally, Cinderella's Dream for Charlie Appleby has had a couple of starts in the States so far and has been really impressive, and coming in third off the layoff should be bringing it. So this is a small but a really good and competitive field. We'll take a look at this field, and honestly, it's really hard to throw any of them out in looking at it. But we got to split hairs a little bit here, I think, to come up with the right answer here. Particularly for the horses who are coming under. Now, Fev Rover, you have to love this horse. This is a hard knocker, and I love about her, she's really handy. She can win on the front end, she can rate, she can do whatever she has to do to win. The only concern I have is that her last race at the Beverly D, where she ran a big one, was her third in the form cycle and is now starting a new one. So I'm wondering if maybe they'll be a little bit off the fastball here, and that kind of gives me a little bit of a pause. She's certainly competitive, could get up for second, but more likely to me, bottom of the try. And at 7-2, I want to try to look elsewhere for value, but including her in the exotics, absolutely. Full Count Felicia is also trained by Kevin Attard and had a really nice front-running victory last time. And what I like about this horse is it's third off the layoff. She's been progressively getting better and in her last 2 races, and provided she can get the 1.25 miles, I think she's awful dangerous in here because there is some vulnerability with some of the prime contenders in here. She's going to try to take them all the way. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think she's one that again could get into the exotics. I think it'd be a tall order for her to win this race. But I think is one, if you can get a good price, 6-1, I'd like a little better than that. I think she's dangerous in here. Blush is a horse that hasn't run on firmer turf and has never run with Lasix. So those are 2 things that may elevate this one a bit. Has put together a nice win streak, though really hasn't faced much in the way of competition. So this would be a big step up. But at 15-1, you're getting some nice value. And I could certainly see getting into the exotics. Moira is, what can you say? She's an outstanding filly. Came off a nice win in the Beverly D, where she closed against what was a speed-favoring track that day over at Colonial. So it was a pretty impressive win. Is coming in third off the layoff. But here's my problem with Moira. If you watch the last 2 versions of the EP Taylor that she's running, one trip, she certainly had a lot of problems. She had a troubled trip, but was able to get free and then just didn't have anything. Seemed to flatten out in the stretch. Same thing with the next effort. And she just had every chance and just couldn't get there. So I wonder if 1.25 miles is a little too far for her. This is probably going to be her last race at Woodbine from what I've been told. And they certainly really want to get this for her, that grade 1 victory, but I just don't see it at this distance, particularly with the likes of Blue Rose Sen and Cinderella's Dream in this race. Moira is certainly classy enough to get into the money without a doubt, but at 7-5, I just can't take her in this field, particularly at this distance. Blue Rose Sen was a monster at 3 years old, and if she was running at her 3-year-old form, she would be a low-priced favorite in this race without a doubt. She was a real monster, but at 4 has not been able to recapture that form, and I do have to wonder if maybe she just hasn't progressed from 3 years old. her last race in particular at Deauville in France, it was a small field. She had every chance in the stretch and just didn't have it. You could see that she was looking to kick it into gear and just didn't have that same gear that she had at 3 years old. Now, she's getting Lasix and she's running on firmer turf. Those two things might elevate this horse. Certainly with the back class, I think you have to consider, and at 8-1, you're getting an outstanding price. If a lot of money comes in on Moira or Cinderella's Dream, she's going to look even more attractive. And excuse me, I intend to use Blue Rose Sen liberally for those reasons. Cinderella's Dream for Charlie Appleby, Bill Buick in the irons. She's my pick to win this race. She's 2 for 2 at 1.25 miles. Her 2 races in the States have been very impressive. Her last in particular at Saratoga, she won that race for fun. It's visually, it's a lot more impressive than it looks on paper. They never went to the whip. She won for fun, won as she pleased, blew right by the leader in the stretch, and it just looked like kind of a tune-up race. And I think she's going to bring it third off the layoff here for Charlie Appleby. I think she's an awful strong candidate and is definitely the one to beat, without a doubt. So we look at our wagering strategy, and certainly, likely Moira's going to take a lot of money, but Cinderella's Dream probably will too, and that makes it a little prohibitive to me to bet her to win. So we're going to take some value and go with Blue Rose Set at 8-1. Hopefully we'll get a better price than that, and I think perhaps we will. And I think she is a sleeper and has a really good chance to take this down if Lasix in the firmer ground helps her recover her form. We're going to go with a 6-5 cold exacta. Then we're going to box 5 and 6. And then we're going to go with a 6-1 cold exacta. If for the reasons stated, the vulnerability of some of the more prominents comes to fruition, then Blush looks awful good coming late at 15-1. So you get some nice value underneath a shorter priced favorite. You want to throw a Saver Exacta in with the rest, Fev Rover, Full Count Felicia. I don't blame you. But, to me, the prices are going to be a little short on Fev Rover, and I just want to go a little more resolute with my wagering, so that's what I'm going to do. Trifecta, we're going to go 6 on top with 1, 2, 5 in second, and then we'll go all underneath because, again, hard to knock any of the horses in here for getting into the money, I think. So we'll use them all. And then for our key trifecta, we're going to wheel 5, 6, 5, 6 with all. And so if we can get Cinderella's Dream on top, we get Blue Rose Sen in second, we're going to get paid well. But we've got a little bit of we've got some savers as well if Blue Rose Sen continues to be a disappointment. But I have a feeling that she's going to run better here and is a very, very logical upset candidate. So that's the EP Taylor. I hope our analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy. As always, wish you the best of luck. Be on the lookout for all of the postings for Woodbine's Grade 1s. We have a few up already, and we'll have some more. So it should be a fun day of racing up in Canada. And I'll talk to you soon. And until then, be well.